What's going on, folks? Painless. As you can see, making another video. You see the title, and let me start with this. I feel that my experience in dealing with non-black women, me myself being a black man, I have and now rethinking interracial marriage, interracial relationships, most notably white women. I've dealt with white women in the past, and I've come to the determination, especially in my field, working with white women, having grown up with white women too. A lot of times when I hear black folks on videos or, talk about interracial marriage, and many of you have heard me say this in past videos, it's always from a white and black dynamic, and never considering other ethnicities, Hispanics, Pacific Islanders, or whoever have you, Asians. It's always from the standpoint of black and white. And myself, I don't. let me just say this. I've spent quite a time on online dating sites, and I find it interesting that black men are the most. While I don't see it as often, black men, you'll come across a female's profile, and she'll say all these things, and at the end she'll say, "Oh, sorry, no black men," or something to that effect. Or especially on Match.com, you can see they'll have every ethnic group except black men. They'll have white men, Asian men, Hispanic men, Pacific Islander men, every man besides black men, which doesn't bother me at all. I keep scrolling. I'm not going to sit here and convince a woman who I know hasn't chosen as a selection on that particular dating site black men. I keep it moving. I don't care what she looks like, because that, first off, I have some dignity. Secondly, it's going to cause problems, because you're going to be fighting so much trying to convince this female that you knew didn't like men of your ethnic background. You're going to be so tied up in fighting that you're not even going to get to know the person. The person's not going to get to know you. So I don't do that. But aside from that, I find that interesting. And then you couple that with white women. I don't particularly care for white women, truth be told. Even though I've dealt with white women in the past, but I think my experience with them has shown me that there's really nothing a white woman can do for me. Now, black men that go out and get with white women, I wouldn't treat that brother any different. I would exercise, or I would advise exercising caution in that. I exercise caution dealing with any non-black woman, you being a black man. Picture this, Thanksgiving, especially with the social political climate that we have, more emphasis on the social. It's just, people say, well, love has no color. Yeah, that I've even rethought that. I've kind of churned that in my head. It's just, me personally, it's Thanksgiving, you're sitting around, and every time families get together, friends, political, religious, social beliefs always come up. And I always wonder about black men that deal exclusively with white women. How do they feel around their significant other, i.e. their wife or their girlfriend, when that white female's father, brothers, male cousins, white family members in general begin to talk about politics and things of that nature, social situations that are going on. And then, I listen to white people because I work with white people. And I, white people say a lot of underhanded, out of pocket, slick shit um, about things. You know, black folks, we come out and we say what we got to say, but white folks, not all, obviously, but you get them in numbers. And that's the thing I notice about. I've always known about white people. I'm from Alabama. When you get a group of white people that outnumber you, they say a lot of slick, out of pocket shit with a grin on their face, as if it doesn't hurt, um, or as if it has a different effect because they smile, or it's their opinion. I noticed that. I've always known that. And let me just say this to a female that made a comment on my last video, saying that I've spent a career talking her down about black women and things of this nature. While I've said things about black women, I've never held white women above reproach. I've never put white women on a pedestal. I've merely talked about my experiences. And I've also said that I would never say I don't mess with black women. I've talked about black women and some of their unbecoming behavior, but I've never said I would never ever deal with a black woman that I can recall. I've never been into that light skin, dark skin thing. I said I'm a features guy. I like thick lips, nose. A lot of black women have that. So let me just kill that noise right there. But back on that scenario that I painted, if you were at Thanksgiving, you must have to feel some type of way when you see the this blatant disrespect that comes on black leadership, black famous, notable black entertainers, sports figures. I find, and when I say I find it interesting, people, a lot of these white conservatives, it's funny how they can see how the left, now on the political spectrum now I'm talking about, how they can see how people who lean left on the political spectrum, it's funny how they can see why, and they break it down so eloquently. They just strip it down and dissect it and analyze it, how they can see why people don't like Trump. But when you get to talking about things concerning black people, who to me, when they express those views and those beliefs and feelings, it's so obvious. They turn a blind eye to that. And, a lot of people in America are so full of shit. A lot of people are full of shit and they're fake. And it's mind-boggling. But see, I know what's up. But again, I don't particularly care to date white women. They're just not. Now I've never put that on my profile, but I don't look at white women. I've had plenty of white women hit me up on POF. And I'm not talking about your overweight white women that you see that many on social media claim that a lot of black men involve themselves with when they deal with black women. I'm talking about black women that have master's degrees. I'm talking about white women that have master's degrees who are military officers. Now, but I think about that scenario that I just painted. Would you feel comfortable? Now, I have white female friends. But I don't date. I don't look at them in that light. And they're attractive, but some are attractive, but I can't see myself with a white woman. I don't want a white woman. And because, and see, this is where the advantage I spoke of earlier in this video of me dealing with so many non-black women. I've been on the other side. A lot of black men that deal with a lot of black men that deal with black women, they, it's natural. But see, I come from a different perspective because I've been in those situations. Not like I painted with the Thanksgiving, but I've been in situations and I've seen situations where those things could have arisen. But yeah, white women. That's not. To me, that is not a end all. Yeah, I got me a white woman. To me, that's not. That is not an end all. I've got the prize. I've reached, the epitome of dating. I've got me a white woman. To me, that's not. And I'm not browbeating white women. There are a lot of attractive, beautiful white women. I'm coming from will I be comfortable going over there for Thanksgiving and talking about things of this nature? Can I let my hair down, per se, figuratively speaking? Can I let my hair down and be comfortable in saying certain things? And I think you need to, and what I mean by you, not necessarily, but people in general need to be cautious of that. It's too much pussy on the brain going on. I was listening to Iceman's video about this white woman who said that that we're taking all the quality black men, all the black men that are educated and this, that, and the third, whatever, and black women are being stuck with the thugs, the dudes with 6 baby mamas who got 2 felonies, can't keep a job, and I haven't read the article, but I listened to Iceman's commentary, and I felt the same way. I mean, if you can come up with that type of thought pattern, whoever this white woman that wrote this article, that should be telling to you black women. That should be telling to you white men. I mean, to you black men. That should be very, very telling. To know that you laying up with a white woman or any other woman, but for all intents and purposes of this video, I'm honing in on white women, that she might think that about you. It's kind of like Get Out, the movie Get Out, which is an excellent movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Those are real life scenarios that black men deal with. And I would never, I don't care what group of women, brothers talk about attitude and behavior. I've met some sisters, black women, since I've been divorced. I met a lot of cool ass black females in Hawaii that have their stuff together, that don't exhibit none of those things that a lot of black men talk about. And I notice the black men that are talking the most stuff, and I know people remember me from back in the day. I've been on YouTube almost 9 years. I've said some things about black women. But a lot of the black men that are talking about this stuff, about black females' attitude and all this stuff, they don't necessarily have their shit together. And the brothers that deal exclusively with white women who have their shit together, they have I found that a lot of these brothers have some type of defect that causes them to these are the brothers that are just weird. And I'm not saying all black men who talk about black women and what some mothers would think in a negative light are like this. But I found that there's a little tick with black men that say, I'm done with sisters. I don't do black women. I find that there's a little tick about them. Now, brothers that have talked about black women some have legitimate concerns. Don't get me wrong. But in hindsight, as I think about it, a lot of black men that do that have this tick about them. These are the brothers that we sitting around and we barbecuing meat on the grill, brothers drinking beer, we talking about whatever. These are the brothers that sitting up there quiet, ain't saying nothing. You know, they can't communicate with us. Aside from, them talking about black women, these brothers can't even function around black men. Now, me, I can sit down with any group of black men in America that got some sense about them, even thugs, because I got cousins that been to jail. I can sit around and have a beer and talk to any group of black men in America. Painless, I can, despite what you may think. I can do that with no problems. So, like I said, it's always, what I find with brothers like that, it's tick. They got these little social defects about them that makes them kind of weird. That's what I get. And I don't, a woman that think that she got something over on me, or she's doing me a favor, or she done took me from a black woman, I think that's pretty degrading. Ain't no more Mandingo Chronicles happening here, as Iceman say. Ain't none of that. I've been through that. I've done it. Yeah, I'm fucking this white woman. Yeah, this white. Based off our historical interactions, that being black men or black people and white people, I've felt that way. But you know what? That is done. You ain't gonna sit up here and think you doing me a favor by being with me. It ain't no blindsiding going on over here. With Sandra Bullock, that movie where she was, all that white woman savior, and stuff like that. Ain't none of that shit no more. That's what I'm saying. And I've talked about a lot of black men look at white women as authority figures because a lot of our teachers was white. I even talked about that long time ago concerning interracial porn. A lot of times, we looked as white women. Black women weren't doing porn like that back in the 80s, like they doing now. So when we would open up a Hustler, or it wasn't, and some of you brothers may know what I'm talking about. It wasn't till before Blacktail came out, all you had was Playboy and Hustler. But when Blacktail came out, a lot of brothers said, man, fuck Hustler and Playboy magazines. We got Blacktail. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So, we look at white women as authority figures, and we run to them as as protective figures from black women, because we've always ran to them. Teachers, white female teachers in charge. And with that being noted, a lot of white women, and I'm going to tell you brothers who say you don't like black women, exclusively you only deal with white women. A lot of white women look at black men as projects, need coddling, need special treatment. They look at you as a little boy. Here, let me put your tie on for you. Here, let me show you how to do this. I'm glad my folks taught me how to cook, clean, wash, and do for myself. So, I want to throw that out there, black men, so you're cognizant of that type of shit, to make sure you ain't being used as no escaped slave syndrome You know, she didn't snuck out the house from Massa and coming down into the slave quarters and getting her some black pipe. You need to be cognizant of that. And secondly, making sure you ain't no damn science project that she has to reform from black women that then so-called psychologically screwed you up. Like I spoke about in that video that article in the video Iceman was talking about. Because you got a lot of white women out there like that. That think you need direction. Fuck all that. I know how to pay my bills. And I'm smarter than your ass. I done been around. A lot of white women think they too fucking smart for black men. But with all this thirst, action, and simping going around, I see why white women think the way that they do. But until they run across a brother like me, I ain't the one. I'm not chasing white women around the office. I'm not cheesing and smiling every time a white woman got something to fucking say. I don't do that shit. And again, I'll reiterate, this is not a white woman bashing video, but, shit like this needs to be said. I'm tired of chest-a-cat ass black dudes smiling and jumping every time a white woman say something. Like she has special credence to what she's saying. So you brothers that, say fuck black women, that's weird to me. And I've never said that. Peace.